have in my hand here the outer box for the standby off energy saver. Okay, so I'm just going to move this box down here. I'm just going to talk about the contents that comes in it. And basically there's three parts to it. There is a very neat but effective little user manual here, just with some graphics on it. We move along then to the main event, which is a 3-pin plug running from an 8-way ganger. We're going to come back to this in a moment, but the main point on this is there's a total of 8 outputs on this, 2 of which are always on, which work like a normal ganger. No matter what you do or what way you set it up, they're working. The other ones here are conditionally on, and this is where the energy saving mode comes in. And the final thing here is the intelligence with it comes from this unit here, which we feed in off of one of our always on items, of which we can have 2, and it just lets us know that if whatever unit is plugged in here to the always on is put from on to standby, it turns off these 6 units here. So how does it do this? Well, let's just look at how we'll set this up. So I'm just going to move forward here on. So what I might just discuss as I'm doing this, I'm just going to get the lead that comes off of this, and I'm going to come along, I'm going to plug it in here, your extension. I'm just going to move it out of camera here, just show you the overall length here. It's about 1.5 meters long, this overall lead length here. So the theory with this, the theory behind it is that you have a number of devices, we'll say a skybox, a TV, a DVD, a VCR, etc., and they're all connected off of the television, or all connected to a single television. And what we have is that when we put our skybox or our satellite receiver into a standby mode at night time, what we want to make sure is that all of the other devices, rather than just sitting in standby mode where they are using power, they will actually be turned off. And then to save us from physically having to go and turn them on the next day, that when that satellite receiver, for instance, is taken out of standby mode and turned back on, the other plugs here, the conditional plugs, are reactivated, and what we have then is that they'll all come back to life at that point. So what do we want to connect to the permanently on, and what do we want to connect to the permanently off, or conditionally standby ones? So what we'll do here is, I'm just going to give the example of a skybox. Well, a skybox would be similar to a PC, and particularly if it had a hard drive, things like this, it's best never to plug it out. So we're going to put that into an always on position here. So we can see we have 2 positions marked here, and it simply says always on, and we push this one in here. Now the television, well, if we don't have a satellite receiver or anything working, it's unlikely that we're going to want the television on. So we'll come along and we'll connect the television into one of these conditional units. So if there was a signal being sent to this unit to turn it on, this television would now come into standby mode or actually turn on, okay? But there isn't. So if we come along and we look at the skybox here, which we've just turned on, we can see here there's a light on it, and it's getting power, okay? So the next thing here is we'll come along and we'll take the satellite receiver, and this is the one that I'm actually going to use for controlling whether this unit is on or off. And the 2 key features that are on this that we need for the main controlling unit, which will be turning on and off where the remote control is. So I'm just going to put it into an always on position here first, just plug that in. So what are the 2 key points? The first thing is that it has to have a SCART input on the back. So we connect it off this TV SCART input here. And then the second point is it also needs to have a USB port. And the importance of that is actually the power to send the signal to this unit here. So what I'm going to do is I'm just going to pick up this unit here. I'm going to rotate it around, and we can see here that we have a mini USB port here. So I'm going to pick up this lead here that also comes in the box that I showed you at an earlier point. And you can see here there's an input here, and it simply inserts here at this point here. Can you see it there? It's actually being pushed in. So I'll just flick it back over so we can move back. And on the back of the satellite receiver, normally what we would be doing is, if we were connecting this to this television here, we would come along and we would use this SCART lead here. And the SCART lead would simply run directly from the back of this into this unit here. But what we're going to do now is we're actually going to put this adapter in here. And I'm just going to push it in here like this. And to give power to this entire setup, I'm going to run this cable over to the USB port, which in this particular box is on the front. and I'm just going to push it in here, like this. Okay? So we come along now, and we look at the front of this box. We'll see that this box here is on, and the television has turned on, because now it's seen a signal that said, hang on, give power to these plugs, and the television is in the standby mode. If I come along now and I said, I'm ready to go to bed, I want to turn the box off, just see what happens to the power on the television. So we'll focus on the two things here. So we can see here, I get the remote control, I press it here, I knock it off. I'll just wait a few moments here, and we'll see that the power going over to this television here has now gone off. So immediately then we're saving power. And in the morning time, or later when I want to flick back on my television, I don't have to go over and turn it on, something like that. All I do is I pick up the remote control and turn on my satellite receiver, which I'll just demonstrate here again. I'll turn it on now. And you can see it's turning on at this point here. And it's going to send a signal over to the television now in a moment. And it's back on with the red light position. And if I got my television remote at that point, I can do it. So you can see it's very, very effective. Now some people, some slight bit of confusion is that people believe that they could use this just as an ordinary 8-way socket. The point is that the last 6 conditional sockets here will only work when it's getting a signal from the box to turn it on. So it's quite specific in its uses. They reckon that something like this will pay for itself even if you're paying full price for the unit in less than a year, but it'll be far more effective than that in terms of we're selling these off at a very, very discounted price simply because we bought them in a job lot. So there's a limited quantity of them, but they're an excellent, excellent device, and hopefully with this overview video you can see the applications of it. But you can see that we can work a large number of televisions off this one single unit, or large television and various devices anyway, and have everything working off a single remote control. Very, very effective. So that's it anyway. The standby off energy saving 8-gang plug set available on tvtrade.ie.